it's me again, and I'm going to make a video about the Aeropress because somebody actually asked me to. I'm sure I'm going to make a 5-minute video. It's going to end up being 10 minutes. This is the swank box that you'll get your Aeropress in. The Aeropress, when I first saw this, I thought this looks like a medical device. This just doesn't look like something I want to make coffee in. And the old package said, fantastic, espresso. It had this claim about that this makes espresso. And Ken Davids was plugging it for espresso. And I thought, this does not make espresso. So they've changed it around a bit. It says 1 to 4 cup coffee and espresso maker. It does make espresso, by the way, if you like espresso. And this says, the best coffee maker I've ever owned, Robin Sam, Denver, Colorado. So everyone call Robin and thank him or her for recommending the Aeropress. I'll try to keep it in that infomercial vein by plugging this thing as hard as I can. So you open up the top, and what do you got? You got this stir paddle and a scoop. You could use either of those, or you could just throw them right in the recycling bin. You got this sort of funnel thing. Maybe you can find some use for that, but I don't need it. This holds the filters, which you can get rid of that, but don't get rid of this. These are the filters, and they're very small. That's like literally 8 months supply right there, filters. And what's neat is that with brewing in small quantities, paper filter taste is a real issue. If you have a lot of surface area, you're going to have problems with paper filter taste. So this is an Aeropress paper filter. Very small. You can still rinse it out to avoid paper filter taste. That is a real issue. This is the filter holder from the bottom, and this is the press itself. So let's take a look at this, and I'll show you how I make good coffee in an Aeropress. Okay, so the first thing with the Aeropress, if you were an early adopter, you got an Aeropress that looks something like this, without this here. It's a milky color. You'll notice the difference in the plastics here. These are not BPA free, or not certified to be. These are BPA free. So you might want to go ahead and invest in a new Aeropress if that's the case. The other interesting thing, I'll just show you this, my old one, because this is my travel Aeropress, and I use the Hario Skirton mill. I basically travel with a cup, a Hario Skirton. You can put this right on top, kind of lock it in. That's why I put this rubber gasket, grind directly into an Aeropress. It's probably the best coffee maker I know for travel, for making small amounts of coffee. The other thing with the Aeropress is it does pretty well with low temperature brew water. You can make an acceptable cup. So whereas other methods you just make a lousy cup. And traveling I rarely get really hot water if you ask for it. So let me get the dosage set up. What we're going to do is take a paper filter, put it in here, put this in the bottom of the Aeropress, and we're going to just wash that out. It's much less important with an Aeropress because there's so little paper area. But when you brew small amounts of coffee, paper filter taste is a real issue. So we're just wash it out, preheat that a little, helps out. So the dosage I'm going to use, I'm making a 12-ounce cup, which is basically around here. That's a 14-ounce cup. This is a nice Ethiopia Moridikoff washed. So I use a SCAA scoop, but it's basically a level scoop, which is a 30 cc scoop, is about 11 grams. So I use 22 grams of coffee, and I do a fairly fine grind. I already have that ground up. So we can just go ahead and brew here. Coffee goes in. And the fine grind is good too because I do a very fast, short brew time. This is not a 3 to 4 minute brew time. So we can basically go right ahead and we start to pour. I keep a spoon nearby just in case the agitation isn't enough, but I think a lot of times just the pouring is enough to get the coffee moving. And this is a very fresh coffee. So what we do is we've already got some coffee leaking through here. And what we do is we just simply place the top of the Aeropress in here, and the plunger will slow this down to a trickle, or there will be literally no coffee. So that will keep it trapped here. We're about 32 seconds since we've poured it, and I'm just going to go ahead and stir it. And I'm going to go ahead and top off my water. Now I don't worry with doing a full volume brew on the Aeropress. I actually like to do a bypass brew, which means that I'm actually going to add hot water directly to this if it's not strong enough. We're at about a minute, and that's really good enough to plunge at this point. So you can see I've got no leakage. I did get a little coffee through there, you know, that's not ideal. It's not going to throw anything off. And basically to plunge, I just sort of lean over on it. A lot of times there's an air gap in here, which is I guess why it's supposed to be called the Aeropress. I don't force it, I just put some weight on it and lean over. Think about something nice. Think about candies and cookies and Oompa Loompas. And we get the little sizzle at the end. I don't really know if that last bit of coffee is good or bad or whatever. And you're done. Now the amazing thing about the Aeropress for traveling is that you undo this. Let me just take a, excuse me. You simply undo the bottom. Oh, it fell out. Isn't that nice? And you push it through. And basically, this has a little bit of coffee residue. This is fairly clean. I can just take a paper towel, wipe that down, put the bottom on, and I'm ready for my next brew or to pack it away. So it's amazing for travel. And this is our cup. We're a little bit slack on the amount of coffee we were going to brew. I'm going to go ahead and top it off. And that should do it. Of course, I'm doing this, you know, the same style I would do if I was traveling. Let's check it out. I'm telling you, this is some pretty damn good coffee right here. Wow, I love that mortar coffee. I've done a couple brews where I've done a V60 on the weekend. I always have my Aeropress at home. I've done a V60, I've done a Clever Coffee Dripper. It's been okay. I haven't really felt like I got everything out of it. I do an Aeropress, fantastic. So sometimes if you really want a coffee that pops and you're not quite getting it, the Aeropress is great to have around. I know it's ugly as hell, but it's a pretty good coffee brewer. So give it a try. I'll just want to add too, there's the upside down method of Aeropress brewing, the inverted Aeropress. So basically, let's just look at that really quick. You take your Aeropress, you would take it like this, okay? Put your paper filter in here, but you basically pour your coffee in here and pour your water in like this. Now, you can do that. Let's just assume there's coffee in there. It will hold. What's nice about this is then, you know, it's the same effect. You have your coffee and water and you don't have any drippage. But I've had a couple disasters with this where it's gone all over my kitchen, and I just prefer not to do it. So you'd basically put your top on here, and then when you're ready, you would flip it over and you would press it. I just prefer not to toy with that. I think the people who like this haven't realized that if you do what I do and put the plunger top in the Aeropress just slightly, you'll prevent that coffee from just draining straight through. So this is another option, not one I use. All right, Aeropress. Ugly. It works.